about a month after the film was released. About 10 years ago, I started to receive cardboard boxes which had no postcard or letter in them. They were full of VHS cassettes, and somebody had recorded the direct feeds from the space shuttle as it orbited the Earth. Now these pieces of video footage had actually been shown on NASA Select television, but the videotapes which I received anonymously in cardboard boxes were the raw feeds from cameras which the astronauts were using. The video cameras which are aboard the space shuttle have filters on them. They have night vision capability. They have image intensifying capability, which degrades the quality of the actual video image. But that whole period proved to me again that there was something very, very odd happening in the space immediately around planet Earth, and that NASA astronauts were basically spending all of their time recording these unidentified flying objects.
Looks like you got an object right in front of you, Mark. Can you look out there? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Never mind. Are we missing something? It's about your 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock going away. Don't worry about it. All right, that's good. Let's go out. Oh, that flash. That light flashing off the HST up there. What? I just thought it was my imagination. Yeah, I saw it too, so it's not. There was two of them. There's another one. What are they? Some sort of lights flickering in here. They're taking pictures.
And then the day after Roswell was published, and this is an astounding book, and if the things which are said in that book are true, then we are not only in a situation where the Earth is being visited by extraterrestrials, but we are also in a situation where the Star Wars weapons program, which was meant to be a kind of protective shield against nuclear attack, is actually proactively being used to wage a war on extraterrestrial craft. And this is happening outside of any democratic process. It's happening outside any public scrutiny. And the Daily Mail newspaper in London recently released a secret memo from the Ministry of Defence saying that they had plans to shut down the UFO report email system, which allows members of the British public to actually report UFO sightings. You would think that the Ministry of Defence would be very, very interested in objects which are entering our airspace and would be very grateful to the public for reporting that, but the opposite is true. And the reason that this memo says that all reports which the Ministry of Defence receive will be destroyed is so that filmmakers, researchers, investigators like me, when we make our Freedom of Information Act requests in America, and we trying to extend our search so that we can get hold of Ministry of Defence documents, we will get a standard reply saying that all UFO reports from the public are destroyed. That is a lie. That is an absolute corruption of power. And the Ministry of Defense, as far as the UFO phenomenon is concerned, is duping and hoodwinking the public. Hello, and welcome to the south of France. The beach is just 900 yards in that direction. It's the middle of the summer. Today is going to be about 37 degrees. And behind me you can see 8 hectares of 1000% organic wheat. Now, I've had this field planted in cooperation with my neighbour, and it's been planted in such a way that there are no tram lines in this field. Tram lines are long indentations created by tractor tyres, and the reason that this field has been planted in such a way is that, yes, although we're going to make some croissants and some biscuits and some other products from this wheat, the main central reason why we've planted this wheat is to do research into UFOs and crop circles. Now, the sound that you can hear behind me are cicadas, and that's because we're in the Mediterranean. And you may think, well, what on earth are you doing crop circle research in the Mediterranean for? Surely the epicenter of crop circle research is Great Britain, which has had literally thousands and thousands of crop circle designs over the last 22, 23, 24 years. Well, it's true to say that the world's most famous crop circle designs have appeared in England, but the ancient history of crop circles is what I'm really interested in. And the ancient history of crop circles started here in the Mediterranean, not far from the south of France and the border with Spain. And it's here where we start our story, at a place called Oppidum. This is Oppidum in the Mediterranean. 2,200 years ago, this natural basin in the south of France was inhabited by people from Greece and controlled by the Roman Empire. In the 1970s, peasants in the nearby village of Montordi that overlook these ancient fields reported orbs of light, UFOs, flying above these fields. This 1970s UFO flap went on for a whole year. The world's most famous ufologist is actually Jacques Vallée, who presented UFO evidence from France and all over the world at the United Nations in 1978. Shards of pottery from 2,000 years ago, unearthed at Oppidum, show the shape of crops peppered with circular indentations. This phenomenon is known as grape shot and is a common feature of many crop circles. These 2,200-year-old vases show UFOs in the sky dropping small balls of light. Horseshoe-shaped UFOs are actually a common sighting in Mexico and the Mediterranean. At Oppidum, something very, very important happened in the distant past. Something so important that the people there commemorated the existence of crop circles and UFOs on hundreds of clay pots, dishes, and vases. This, surely, is proof that the crop circle phenomenon is at least 2,200 years old in this part of Europe. In fact, not only at Oppidum do we see these circular markings carved into rock. We see these circular markings at Newgrange in Ireland and in many other megalithic sites. The megalithic period was 2,200 years BC. These circular markings could represent the egg or ovum, or could possibly represent spiral galaxies. The resemblance of the pottery at Oppidum to modern-day crop circles is remarkable. There are literally hundreds of examples of crop circle designs to be found here. On this bowl we see a spiral in a circle, maybe showing an aerial view of a tumulus with 4 circles around it. Notice the etching on the bowl. This could perhaps represent the flattened crop. Are these bowls and dishes commemorating in some way a celestial event such as a supernova? Or are they actually showing us that crop circles that we film in the fields of Britain and other countries worldwide today used to appear 2,200 years ago in the Mediterranean? Certainly, the similarity between these 2,000-year-old shards of pottery and modern-day crop circles is remarkable. Time and time again at Oppidum, we see